Hey guys, it's Krista here from Inky Fairy Designs. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today is Stamp Stash Saturday, and I'm coloring this adorable stamp by Mama Elephant. It's called the Bunnies Hop, I think. And it's one that's newer to my stash. Yeah, I couldn't resist these bunnies. We actually own two bunnies as pets, and so bunnies are kind of like I can't resist those stamps. Um, so I had to have them. And I'm coloring today on Bristol paper because I decided to pull out my clean color Real Brush pens by Zig. Now these are watercolor markers, and I have not used them in a while, but I use them with a water brush. So I'm showing you my water brush. I actually end up using my Pentel water brush, this one right here, because it has a smaller tip than that first one that I showed you, and I felt with these images I needed a smaller, kind of more detailed tip to use. And I find that the Zig Clean Color markers work great on Bristol paper. You can use them on watercolor paper, but they just are a little bit more harder to move around. So I'm using the Ink on 3 Blackout Detail ink. This is part of that 3-pack that I got. I used the Fade Out ink last Saturday, and I wanted to test out this ink. It's black and it's a hybrid ink, so it is great for watercoloring and also Copic markers or alcohol-based markers. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like that there's a lot of these like dual inks out now. So you can have one black ink and it'll satisfy all of your needs. So I just wanted to play with this one today. I'm using my Misty whenever I'm stamping either on watercolor paper, which has texture. This doesn't have texture, but it's a large stamp image, and so I had to stamp it twice in order to get a really clean image. So I'm showing you here my colors, and these are the colors that I'm using for the bunnies. I end up bringing in two more colors that I don't show you here because I felt like I needed some more variety as I continued coloring, and the other colors were green, gray, and beige. And I'll have all of the colors listed in the description box below, so you don't have to worry about writing those down if you're interested. Now, I wanted to show you in real time kind of what I did on a bunny, but I'm not showing you the entire image coloring this like real time. So what I did was I outlined the bunny for my first layer. And I'm just creating kind of like a wash of color on my bunny. And I started by putting some clean clear water with my water brush in the middle of the image, and then pulling out the color from the outside of the image into the inside, and it will fade and give you a nice texture and, you know, just shading, all that. It'll leave the darker areas where you laid down the marker on the outside of the image, and then it'll get lighter as you bring in the color towards the middle of the image. And I just like doing that with the Zig color. It's just very simple, and I felt like for an image like this where I'm coloring a ton of bunnies, it didn't need to be complicated. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the ears here. So I'm just outlining, and then I will bring it in with the water brush. And I apologize, my voice is kind of scratchy. So yeah, the other way that I do it, I'm going to show you here on this image. I outline it again, and then I, instead of like starting in the middle with a lot of water and then pulling it in, I actually just go along the outside with my water brush and pull it into the dry middle. So either way works. So I'll show you here. I just kind of activate it on the outside and bring it in. You don't really see it much on the ears, but here you'll see I start on the outside, activate that marker, and pull it in to the middle of my image. And it works the same way whether I have it wet or dry. I can pull that in. I get that nice variation from light to dark or dark to light. It stays darkest where I lay the marker down, so where you want your shadows, and then it'll get lighter towards the middle of the image. So now I'm speeding it up because we have a lot of bunnies to color, and you really don't want to sit and watch me color them so slowly. So I ended up first, I started by coloring like each image individually, and so I would just outline. I would color like 3 or 4 of the bunnies in one color, and then I would switch colors and kind of hop around the image. Oh, hop around, totally no pun intended, but I would jump around the image and kind of get a variety of those bunnies colored. And then I would actually like bring in the water on each one at a time. Towards the middle, I think, is when I realize I can take that same color and outline like the 3 or 4 bunnies, and then come in and pull in the color with my water brush all at the same time. I don't know, that doesn't make sense because I haven't done it yet, so I'm still doing like each one at a time. I'm coloring. Here I go. Now I'm jumping around. Now you can see what I'm talking about. I am outlining like 4 bunnies, and now I'm coming in with my water brush, and I can pull in that color one at a time, because basically these are water activated, and they will continue to be water activated. So it doesn't matter if the marker kind of dries on my paper, especially on the Bristol paper. On a watercolor paper, you'd want to work a little bit faster, but on this Bristol paper, you can totally do this. So you can outline 3 or 4 bunnies and then come in. So here I use like a really pale gray, and this is like my white bunny. I still have a little bit of shadow on it, but they are not as colored as the other ones. So I like the variety of the browns and the grays, and this is where I bring in that green gray because I felt like I needed another color. And here's the beige, and I actually did these all at once. So I did the green gray, and then I did the beige with the markers, and now I'm coming in with the water brush. So you could totally do it that way. It was just kind of figuring out my groove and what I wanted to do, how I wanted to color, what would be easiest to color. And again, I hadn't colored with my clean color real brush pens in a while. I was like so nervous that they might not work. I mean, when you guys don't use your art supplies, they go bad. And I had that happen on a couple texture pastes and a couple paints that I had, dilution paints. I didn't use them for a while. I went back to use them and they were dried out. So it's such a bummer. So use your stuff. That's my goal this year, is just to use my things. And that's why I kind of I've been jumping around from mediums and, different color watercolor mediums. And I think it's just going to be a really great year because I'm going to actually use the things that I have. So I added in some blush onto the cheeks of all the bunnies. And now I'm coming in and I've dried all of the bunnies. They're all completely dry. I'm coming in and I'm adding some shading. So I'm adding shading on the right side of the bunnies, all of the bunnies in the same color that I laid down that first color. But now I'm just adding a little bit more shading on that right side, and I do them all at once. And now I'm coming in with my water brush, and I'm just going to lightly activate it, and I'm not going to pull it out into the whole image. I really want to keep that concentrated on the right side. It'll give it a little bit more dimension and texture. And here I'm just working left to right. So I laid down all of the color already with my markers, and I do have, you can kind of see it at the bottom of the screen. I have a paper towel where I can wipe off my water brush in between when I'm switching colors, because I definitely don't want to pull in that dark gray when I'm coloring one of the light brown bunnies. So that's always a good thing when you're working with the water brush and any type of water-based markers. If you're switching colors, have that paper towel on hand, and you can wipe that off and then easily go in to the next color. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to color in the rest of the cute little images on this stamp, and I'm showing you all of the colors here. Again, totally not necessary to do this, but some people want to see it here. Some people want to see it in the description box. It will be in the description box below. So I'm just coming in with a couple more colors. I colored in the chicks in a yellow color, and then I'm going to pull in a different, I've got orange for the carrots, and then I think I bring in like a red and a blue and a purple. This English lavender is my favorite. I had forgotten. I mean, like I said, oh my gosh, how many times am I going to say it? But I hadn't used these in a while. But that English lavender is a great like shadow for white. So I used that on the coffee cup, which I think is like the most adorable thing on this entire image. Like one of the bunnies is holding a cup of coffee, and then one of the bunnies is holding a book. And so yeah, I'm just coming in and kind of coloring in those things. And then I forgot to color in their noses, so I pulled out this pale rose, and they all have the same color nose, just like they all have the same color cheeks. Just really keeping it simple with an image like this. I don't normally do large stamped images like this, but these bunnies just stole my heart, just like the little snowmen they had. I never got my hands on that for Christmas, and so when I saw these bunnies come out, I just had to have them. So now I'm coming in and I'm doing the background. I just wanted to add a little bit of a blue halo highlight around all of those images, And I came in and I just, pretty much the same way I did the bunnies, I just laid that color down on the outside of them, and then I pulled a lot of water at the top, and then I realized this is not watercolor paper, and it was pilling a little bit because I had put too much water, and then I was really overworking it and added more color down here because I wanted it to really fade into a light blue. But it's not watercolor paper, so it's okay though. In the end, you really can't tell. So I actually die cut it with this die cut from W+9, and then just added a simple sentiment from Lawn Fawn because this particular stamp does not come with any sentiments. So I thought it would be cute for this big hugs, and I can send it out as a thank you card. That wraps up my video for today. I hope you enjoyed this Stamp Stash Saturday. I'm really enjoying making these videos for you guys, and thank you again for continuing to watch and like and share these videos. It really encourages and inspires me to continue making more content for you guys. Be sure to like this video by giving it a thumbs up, and if you aren't already, subscribe to my channel to see more videos like it, and be sure to click on the bell to be notified whenever my videos pop up. And you can find me on social media as Inky Fairy Designs. That's it for me today. I'll see you guys again on Monday for Mixed Media Monday. Until then, do something creative today.